Thanks for watching this video. If you watched it last year, make sure you watch it again. Some things have changed and we've added a few things. I'll alert you about what has changed this year by flying in every once in a while. The 21st century is here. So far, it hasn't brought us jetpacks, but it has brought teachers technology tools that let you reach students in ways that you never could have previously. But the 21st century has also brought privacy concerns. More and more, these online tools are collecting student data. So, what should a teacher or school do? What are your legal obligations? And what are the best practices for protecting student data? That's what this video is for. I'm going to explain your obligations and give you some simple steps to protect your students and you. There are several laws that dictate how schools and teachers handle student data. There's COPPA, the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. COPPA puts special restrictions on software companies about the information they can collect about students under 13. So students under 13 can't make their own accounts. Teachers have to make the accounts for them. And there's CIPA, the Children's Internet Protection Act, which requires districts to put measures in place to filter internet access and other measures to protect students. Then there's PIPA. PIPA is the... Wait, PIPA's not a law. PIPA's Kate Middleton's sister. But the big law that covers most of this is FERPA. FERPA is the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. Probably the most important thing to know is that, according to FERPA, schools must have written permission from the parent or guardian in order to release any information from a student's education record. So the most important thing is, you shouldn't be sharing student information with apps and websites without parent permission. How do you follow FERPA and still use technology? You don't need a law degree to teach using technology. You just need to follow some simple steps. First, before you use any software that includes any student data, go and check the District Academic Technology menu. It's easy to search and find the website, app, or software that you plan to use. When you find the tool that you want to use, check its FERPA status. If it's listed as approved, that means that student data can be shared with the company that runs the tool and you are clear to use it. If the tool is listed as parent consent required, you need to get parent permission. If you don't find the website or app that you are looking for on the menu, you'll also have to get parent consent. You might remember that this is pretty much exactly what FERPA says. Schools must have written permission from the parent or eligible student in order to release any information from a student's education record. Here's one big change. We've made getting consent easier this year. To get parent consent, go to the Academic Technology menu and click on District Usage Reporting. You'll have to log in. Use the search function to find the online tools that you use in your classroom. Click the button to mark each one used. You'll see the list of what you are reporting on the right side. Your principal will also be reporting the online tools that are used across your school, but it's not going to hurt anything for you to report something that your principal also reports. As a school, you'll need to determine a date to have all tools reported. The tools reported by you, your principal, and the other teachers at your school will generate a web page of all the online tools used at your school. This page will be public for parents to see. Your school will then send home a paper form for parents to give their consent to the tools listed on that page. Your school will keep track of these consent forms. Remember, if you don't get consent, you can't put student data in the applications used at your school. That was a lot of steps. Don't worry, we'll review it in the end. There's one other option. You can anonymize student data. This means that wherever you are putting a student's name, you instead put in anonymous information. So instead of a student's first name, you would put Blue. And instead of the last name, you would put Bonnet or Bunny or Suede Shoes. But this could be unwieldy for you as a teacher to keep track of which student is Blue Bonnet and which is Red Rover. And if students are putting other data into the system that could be construed as personally identifiable or as part of their student record, this still wouldn't do the job. You'd still want to get parent consent. So let's review. if you want to use an online tool with students. Check the Academic Technology menu. If the tool's FERPA status is approved, use it. If the school's FERPA status is parent consent required, or if it's not on the menu, report that you are using that tool using the Academic Technology menu reporting process, and make sure your school is collecting consent forms. In some cases, anonymizing data with fake student names is sufficient too, but use discretion if it's a website that collects other data. So, that covers how you handle student data with online tools, but there are other areas where you'll want to be careful. In addition to putting student data in online resources, you also need to be careful about how you are storing and sharing student data. This year, we've got 6 more tips. 1. Don't store student data on flash drives. They're small, easy to lose, and could put the data at risk. 2. Be careful about storing student data on your cell phone or laptop. If you lose a flash drive, cell phone, or laptop, make sure to tell your supervisor so that the district can take appropriate actions in response. 3. Don't send student data to anyone that doesn't have a legitimate educational need for it. This is especially true of anyone not working for Denver Public Schools, but even with other DPS employees, only send the data that is needed to the people who need it. 4. Be careful about putting student data into emails, because those emails could be an educational record. Keep in mind that parents and others can read the emails if they ask to see them. 5. Don't store student data in online services such as Dropbox or your personal Google account. If you need to store student data in a cloud service, use your district Google Drive. 6. Even when you use your district Google Drive, make sure that the sharing permissions on the document, sheet, or folder are locked down as tightly as they can be. If you need help with this, go check out googlesupport.dpsk12.net. In general, be careful where you store and share student data. It's your job to keep student data secure. That's it. If you have questions, go to the Student Data Privacy website. All of this is on there, and many of your questions are answered there too. Now, go out there and use technology to help every child succeed.